Laboratory mind, tearing some more of these threads of time, because the Mobius needs to overflow. If he didn't, be a mole poking his head to make a hill that you could call a molehill if you won't. Or it could have been a blueberry bush where you met your best friend shit and then frank with this shit, like sentences that said could have been on a petri dish, so you could have an exhibit of them. And you have seen the finest, dog, every time I try this stuff, because then you saw trapeze artists to finally fall, make you fall in love. Then I bend over backwards with the syllables I form. It ain't silly to hold them for a wall, but you can't hold the devil very long. Yes, you chase him around the world till the equator belt would fall, and then your pants would got you embarrassed. I embezzle this shit until you bit in chips that stick, and then you lost those ideas. Lost in the part of talk when all of them would talk to such, until I ripped their tongues from the spots it was. Until the tongues had spots like they were sick with cough. No, they're sick with bed, and then they need to get sick with something they sip to get better from that shit, but they can't. Because what they need to sip hasn't been created yet by this head. Because I know I'm destined for greatness. Just probably not at rap, and I probably shouldn't have said that. That sounds bad. Like, you've had too much time invested in this shit. Like, this 2 minutes, you could have done something different. You could have dented a book and got some intel, dog, that's shortened up with the gins on it, dog, with the gin and juice that you sipped all day long type stuff. Boom. In the log you could have spun. You ain't lumberjack enough to stick to the circle, dog. Get to the center one. Get to the center of a lollipop with the Tootsie on front. That's a Tootsie Roll for show with smoke. This foam I roll for yo like I pull from Mo and I pull from somewhere else. Maybe a trolley system involved. Would you hail a cab if you didn't want to get on type stuff? Maybe the hub of where all this created is somewhere close. I hit close to home with every flow, and then I shovel mo like I dug a hole to put your corpse because I'm best for show. Shovel night. Why not? Then I'll shove off like I'm from the Northeast instead. Why not? Why not with flow? Wine and dine to find that I will finally try, because my find was nice. And I find that the fun's overstuck, because this was Shutterstock, dog. Yes, that's a pop, but more the commercial you watch in between of something you watch. That's watched twice. I guess you got a clock and then the wrist one, because the wrist could have got y'all. Wristed development, bitch. Pop again and then another pop from the studs, because Cinderella brush put on the bricks of rocks to get them flushed from the dirt that's on. That's like something you take a number 2 or a number 1. Did you have to sink to that level, dog? When it gets septic, it gets cryptic. Like something's encrypted that I need to have said to them. Cause if I didn't, I would've got all pissed and maybe just shut off this stuff. Alright, you don't need to resort to threats type shit. Maybe I'll just grab with grist something that's soft on naked till the esophagus was fully destroyed. Like life force involved, and I'm a jet that would spin. No, that's our type, dog. You already know that shit, you said it so much, and every time that arguing song, it comes out go. Maybe that's why you done. Like I'm just poking the bear in the woods with the stick that I found, and maybe picked up a pluck like it's a flower, but they ain't a posy, so don't pose like you won. And then the 1-on-1 talk with the tennis ball that would have spun would conspire talk or inspire it some with a different thought I was thinking about. Boom. Ridiculous stuff from a rhinoceros tip that's lit like a blue flame of propane, my ass. Yes, with some proper talk, because y'all love something I suppose, with the symphony involved, with the piano that's strummed like it's a guitar, but the strings were broke, cause my strings too glove. Every time I shrug my arms, the shrug was at the shoulders, and that's near the top. Poinsettias that go like balloons that flow with a string and bow. Put a key on me, then I could get struck 47 times in a row. Then I could say another strum, then it just sounds like syllables that you wrote on the pyramid's dome. It doesn't have a pinnacle anymore. No, I fucking poked it with a pin that I found, like it's a cushion or so. Maybe a cushion rock. Cascade my rhymes, you could call me waterfall try, or waterfall mine. It's a wonderful one, right? 1 and 1 was done? No, that's dust to dust, die, until the dust from dawn starts, and then that's a different story that's told to child. Around what riffs, that's summertime. No, we don't need that lick. Let's save the lumber for when it's cold and frost will fall from the clouds instead of wet. And then instead of this heapy wet, a spider web you're in, you're gonna get something different to do you in, dog. But I know the trick. I know Pinocchio's nose. I tell no lies and know where the evergreens grow. Because the pines need to get burned to the ground, to the ash and herbs you could put on woe. But I haven't found a particular spot on the shelf. Maybe the spot the dog would help. I said dog for some reason I know not, like duh, I should have already known. Boom. What gets lit? The filament and bulb, and then when I'm filling it with flow, you should fucking know. You have it fixed on thought, maybe I could fix it up like I'm a chef you bought. Or maybe just my skills, because when I'm done I'm off. I don't just sit there until you're hungry some more, till you're hungering for some flow. I'm a hunk that goes with a bunch of guts from my lungs, but more my throat, because it's an instrument, yes, and I'm the symphony now. It's simply the best when I do this shit with a finger that extends from my fist, because those are the extents that I'll go for you to be feeling it like I is. Like I've been, like in my flesh. It's just the soul that flows. It's something that glows. Like, oh. All this is the ordeals, dog. And then the more meal you get, the more hors d'oeuvres, the more over the top. Like a mountain in front, but short. So it's just an empty with a dog. You're empty in what could hold the vessel some, because I fucking consumed what was legible until all you brought was just a bunch of chicken scribble that couldn't be read at all. Yes. So corrected with bread that I'm on this quest, this fucking manifest destiny of what I could have said, until y'all could have just walked with your jaws and dropped like your cartoons that I draw. Boom, draw the wall some more, and then y'all could have drawn like it was caught, and then you lost the stock, the biggest bet that you made, and the most fucked up hand as well. Isn't that how it goes? And then you shovel up with your head down and your tail down as well. Toe some more, toe the line for more flow, and then that would have been my fine photo that they took with flash on top. Maybe the flash was some to get the ribbon eyes. Good ribbons, right? Because I said this good. And it's not the ribbon type. If it was, that would have been an R-type and legit that spin one time. Yes, spin one time with something that grows where the garden does, bro. So call me a posy? No, it's more like a rose. Yes, something shrunk, because that's the guitar. Maybe that was the part of the song. Blackberry bush flows. Black and no throne. Maybe that's a black and fishy bowl from the Asian shop in the mall. Maybe that's a rug, that's a quill. Maybe that was a pull. No, that was a bell. Maybe it was struck to get the townspeople to know. Yes, that the steeple was gone. With ridiculous renditions of this so perdition roll will look pretty with a pony and bow. A pony was glow. Never seen those look like so. Look like so over your show with these flow that you'll throw like it's a stone to see how many skips you can get off of that poem. Like that poem is a schmuck. That's an easy push. That's an easy tush. I mean, and then a fucking dose of some of those chemicals, endorphins, the hall from the wet dog. Yes, TWA.